powerful. Yeah. He's so vicious. Like his one-punch power at 135 is like nobody else's in the division. Like the way he starches people is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets so much torque and power into his punches, and he's so fast that he covers ground and his uppercuts, they're just devastating.
Yeah, for sure. I think I can stop him. I'm much quicker than him. He's much stronger, much bigger, but we just gotta wait and see until we get in there and test the waters.
Joe Rogan's expression said everything. As Gervonta Tank Davis entered the media room ahead of his exhibition clash with Jake Paul, the energy noticeably shifted. People had expected to see the usual compact, explosive Tank, but this time he looked transformed. He appeared heavier, more powerful, as if every muscle had been refined for a single goal: domination. Rogan, no stranger to witnessing elite fighters from various disciplines, couldn't mask his reaction. It wasn't just recognition. It was one of those rare moments when even a seasoned commentator realizes an athlete has reached a whole new level of readiness.
Giant Gervonta fan. I think that guy is so unusual.
Yeah.
His style so unusual, and his patience.
The Leo Santa Cruz fight was really something for me because Leo Santa Cruz is a technician, Mexican style, and the fight was very close before Tank stopped him. But he has that power that can end it.
He finds these openings and he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient. Like when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he probably has the lowest punch count in the early rounds. But he also knows he's got that nuclear option that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence.
To really understand the size disparity, consider this. Gervonta Tank Davis is a natural lightweight, typically competing around 135 pounds. Jake Paul, in contrast, has been fighting in an entirely different weight category, closer to cruiserweight territory, where athletes come in heavier and more physically imposing. So when the catchweight was announced at 195 pounds, it caught a lot of fans by surprise. And it wasn't a quick agreement. Either, the final number came after plenty of public back and forth and behind-the-scenes negotiations. This matchup isn't just another bout. It represents a major physical jump for Davis. That leap alone has raised eyebrows, sparking debates over whether this is a challenge based on boxing skills, or a gamble pushing the very limits of his capabilities.
That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
if I bet on it, it bothers the fuck out of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia, so it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in.
Thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Due to the major size difference between the two fighters, this exhibition won't follow the typical rules you'd find in a standard title fight. One of the most notable adjustments is the choice of gloves. Both Davis and Paul have agreed to use 12-ounce gloves, which are considerably heavier than what Davis usually wears in his weight class. For someone like Davis, who competes as a lightweight, this change isn't minor. He's used to lighter gloves that emphasize speed, precision, and quick combinations. Heavier gloves not only slightly reduce the force of impact, but also slow down the pace and rhythm of punches. Meanwhile, Paul, being naturally larger and more accustomed to heavier gear, gains a small but meaningful edge in this setup.
You're yelling so much about him fighting someone, fight somebody your size. His next opponent is by far the most credentialed guy ever fought actively in his prime. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. He fights at 135 pounds.
Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's longtime coach, also appeared uneasy about the switch to heavier gloves. He noted that while the added padding may reduce some of the impact, the real concern lies in how it disrupts a fighter's rhythm, both offensively and defensively. From Ford's perspective, the extra weight changes more than just the force behind a punch. It affects timing, the feel of each strike, and even how a fighter maintains their guard. For someone jumping up several weight divisions, these subtle differences could have a major impact on how the fight unfolds.
Jake Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. Instead it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Oh, so Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach. Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake. Exhibition though, can he win? Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges. So he can actually still win and knock him out. But here's the trick. It's body punches only. And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall? At Jake Paul's belly. Oof. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's a pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved. But Jake Paul for the win.
Teddy Atlas weighed in on the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, and he didn't sugarcoat it. He highlighted just how stark the size difference appeared on stage, even joking that Davis might need a ladder to land a clean shot on Jake's chin. While Atlas acknowledged that boxing is ultimately a game of skill, timing, and style contrasts, he emphasized that this matchup takes the size factor to a whole new extreme. At some point, he argued, size doesn't just influence the fight, it becomes the fight.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s, so he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, they said, put Tank in 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his handlers. They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be an expedition. What's the matter? What, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Tank don't really care, So when I brought this up, he said, dang, facts. You know what I'm saying? So again, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight.
Atlas compared the situation to when Canelo Alvarez stepped up in weight to face Terrence Crawford, but noted that even though Crawford was lighter, his frame could handle the extra pounds. Gervonta Davis, by contrast, is naturally much smaller, which raises real concerns about whether he can even connect with meaningful shots against someone of Jake Paul's size. That's why many observers are calling this matchup a mismatch before the first punch is even thrown. And it's not just fans debating it. Journalists and fight analysts are questioning the legitimacy and even the ethics of staging a bout with such a dramatic size imbalance. The controversy has grown beyond just Davis's personal challenge. Critics are now asking whether the sport is heading down a dangerous path by approving exhibition bouts where physical disparities are this extreme. Joe Rogan has also weighed in, highlighting how abnormal and potentially unsafe this kind of matchup is, especially for a sport that still tries to present itself as grounded in real competition and skill, rather than pure entertainment.
Right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff, particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was It was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him, because I know he's an expert in this area, but it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me. It's Rocky 3.
Dana White has chimed in as well, and true to form, he didn't mince words. He's been openly critical of the matchup, accusing Jake Paul of deliberately choosing opponents who are either physically smaller or no longer in their prime. While White acknowledged that Gervonta Davis may hit harder than even Floyd Mayweather on a pound-for-pound basis, he argued that raw power means little when there's a massive gap in size, weight, and reach. In Dana's view, Paul could easily use his larger frame to wear down Davis, leaning, clinching, and smothering his offense, effectively neutralizing Tank's explosiveness. He's made it clear that fighters like Jake should be squaring off with opponents their own size, rather than chasing smaller, high-profile names just to generate buzz.
Jake Paul, I think when he weighed in for Mike Tyson, was 227 pounds. That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. It's insane. That is called one thing. That's called being a bullet.
Joe Rogan has long expressed respect for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, not just for his devastating knockout power, but for the way he's methodically risen through the boxing world. After Davis stopped Rolando Romero, Rogan remarked that Tank isn't simply winning, he's delivering highlight reel moments that elevate him to global stardom. When reflecting on Davis's bout with Ryan Garcia, Rogan reinforced that admiration. He described Tank as one of the most unnerving fighters to face, someone whose calm demeanor masks an ever-present threat. According to Rogan, Davis doesn't rely on pressure or volume. He waits, watches, and then strikes with precision. And when he does, the entire dynamic of the fight can shift in a split second.
Tank is one of the most interesting fighters to watch because he's so different. His style is so different. You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out. And the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, and man, he be cracking them dudes. Hey, he be putting them to sleep.
Just cracking people.
Yeah.
And he has so much confidence in his power. So much confidence in his power.
You know, he just, in his mind, he know it's a matter of time before I catch you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Tank, you know, these fighters. You got to be aware 15 rounds. I know you're going 12, but you got to think you're going 3 more, because one slip, one mistake, and it's over.
Yeah.
You know, so hats off to Tank. You know, he's a great, talented fighter. But again, he haven't faced the top elite fighters in his division.
Right.
You know, so we want to see Tank against, you know, somebody his size, you know, at the elite level.
Yeah.
And I believe he'll do good, because, you know, he got the skills, the power, he got the ring IQ to do good, but we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's also wild. He's a wild fella, so he's fun to watch. You know, he's just a crazy dude, you know?
Yeah. Coming from Baltimore, man, I think that's just his upbringing as well.
Yes, for sure. He's just so unique in his approach. Like, you know, he doesn't fight like anybody else.
Yeah. There are growing indications that Gervonta Davis might be considering retirement following his exhibition match with Jake Paul, with many attributing the potential decision to securing his financial future. Davis has been vocal about his dissatisfaction with the current state of boxing, even describing the sport as dead to him and expressing frustration over the lack of loyalty within the industry. His longtime coach, Calvin Ford, confirmed that the fight with Jake Paul wasn't about legacy or competitive ambition. It was chosen primarily because it promised the largest payday, surpassing any potential rematch offers. Beyond the money, Davis seems mentally worn down by the relentless demands of training camps, pressure, and the complicated politics behind the scenes. In recent comments, he suggested this could be his last major fight, revealing a wish to retreat from the public eye and focus on his family and personal well-being, rather than continue navigating the chaos of being a high-profile figure in combat sports.
That Ryan Garcia one, where Gervonta Davis caught him with that left hook to the body, people were saying that he quit.
No.
He never been hit in the liver. Oscar De La Hoya quit the same way with Bernard Hopkins.
With the same thing.
Same body shot.
Same
Left
body shot.
body.
And he tried to come, and he tried to take a step out that corner and not the front of his foot even moved. He just went down. He's like, man, this is it.
And if you get kicked to the body.
Oh my God.
A kick to the body is so goddamn devastating, especially a spinning back kick. You could literally pick someone up in the air. It's like they get hit by a car.
Any kick.
Yeah.
To that.
It's really something to see a kid who has nothing, born into extreme poverty, become a world champion. Like Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
It's an inspiring story.
It is, and it's great for everyone because it gives you fuel. Like for a person who's coming up in life, even if you're not a fighter, you see what someone's gone through and you see the success that hard work has created.
Right.
And it can be a roadmap for your own life.
Amid the ongoing debate, actor and martial artist Michael Jai White offered his viewpoint. He emphasized that no matter how well Jake Paul performs or how much publicity he attracts, Paul should not be considered a genuine boxing champion. White drew a clear distinction between officially sanctioned championship fights governed by recognized bodies and the exhibition or crossover. Matches that Paul has been involved in, his comments, reflect a common sentiment among many in the boxing world, that while these events may create excitement and draw attention, they don't carry the same weight or honor as true championship contests. For numerous professionals and longtime fans, this matchup leans more toward entertainment than authentic sport, intensifying the conversation about its legitimacy.
And for Ben, on what you make it. Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing, for sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates? Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're gonna come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is gonna knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight.
Commentator Showbiz highlighted that despite how unconventional the matchup might appear, the sheer curiosity from the public is likely to result in massive viewership. Meanwhile, Tank's recent hints about possibly stepping away from boxing have left fans uncertain, with many wondering if the fight will actually take place as scheduled. Adding to the drama, Davis and Shakur Stevenson have been exchanging barbs on social media platforms like X, each casting doubt on the other's abilities and motives. This online rivalry has only heightened the tension, mixing genuine competition with the kind of entertainment-fueled hype that increasingly defines today's boxing narratives.
You think that Jake Paul could win a legitimate boxing title?
No, no, because he's so far behind someone of his equal age who's been doing it for a very long time. He started very late. That's why I applaud exactly what he's doing. I think he should be doing exactly what he's doing. If he fought a legitimate, top 10 cruiserweight, I will shut the f up. If he's able to fight an actual contender of the top 10, that would be astonishing if he can get to that point. If he beat anybody in the top 10, that would be, to me, the greatest thing he's ever accomplished.
Yeah, because historically he's fought old men.
I think he's done it the right way, because there's a possibility where a 50-year-old Anderson Silva might be able to beat him. Who thought he was going to beat Tyson? I really thought, oh, Tyson's just going to go to the body and just punish his body, because I thought that that's what would win him thing, but he did not do that. I think it makes for a good matchup. He's made for great spectacle.
Until we meet again, Take care and stay safe.